Hi friends, let us start with the bad news today. This century faced the worst times in history. The world fought 160 wars in 100 years. Most of them are for religious supremacy, regional supremacy, to suppress kingdoms, some of them against freedom fighting, and are also for oil and other resources. In any case, international community divided on the basis of religion. Faith ruled the world, and religions became a cause of death of 187 million people in this century. United Nations remained as spectator. Each ruler thinks that their ideology is superior and they want to enforce it on others. Let us scientifically analyze the facts and events behind faith and the absence of faith.
While gods have different branches of faiths, the devil is one for all, and it is universal. Every religion blames the devil for human mistakes. No religion takes ownership of the devil and his mischief. The devil did not revenge anyone or created any war, holocaust or racial cleansing or individual murder. All are human behaviors.
Even though the concept of Satan or devil did not exist in Indian culture, human sacrifice for God still continues. No religion ever condemned such practices, as they fear to talk against any practice in the name of God. The government made an anti-superstition and black magic act, but people do not know such laws exist. It is not our topic. Indian myths and superstition is long enough for another episode.
We cannot debate gods and religions. It will become a sensitive subject. While gods are regional, the devil or Satan is universal. It is the only common factor I see between different faiths.
So, we can talk about atheists and rationalists. They stand between the God and the devil. They are the most attacked groups worldwide, because they never come back to attack others. In fact, atheists and devils do not have any motive to attack others.
The personification of evil is found in Abrahamic religions. In other ancient faiths, devil or Satan is not believed to exist. Only good gods and bad gods. Devil may refer to one of the malignant deities, feared and worshipped by people, a demon, a malignant being with superhuman powers. In Indian mythology it was Ravan, the god of Lanka, projected as a demon.
You can safely assume that ancient gods were only the deified rulers, conquerors, and founders of the past. Their cults and religions were the continuation of vanished kingdoms and earlier political structures. All gods had a small land as kingdom. They had enemies, they fought wars, their fathers were not gods and their children could not become gods.
Scientifically speaking, all newborn babies do not have any religion. India has 30% of the world's poorest people grown up in streets and slums without someone teaching him about gods. He naturally becomes intelligent, rational, logical and secular. As long as they live without the knowledge of God, they are nobody's enemy. Existence is their priority, not the religion or God.
On the other hand, when you are injecting the baby with the concept of God, religion, and caste, the problem starts. When he grows, he will be confused to know about other faiths which are contradicting his belief system. He is forced to play safe, by switching off his logical brain. He is compelled to follow the one his parents told him, without studying, analyzing, experiencing and deciding for himself. That habit continues in choosing his education, career, and leaders. His logical brain is permanently damaged.
It needs certain level of maturity to understand religions or God. We have a minimum age for voting and choosing our leaders. Why can't the same logic be applied for choosing one's faith? It is totally illogical and undemocratic to classify and brand people by their birth. A child has no option to choose his religion and the adult has no right to choose his faith. Here we talk about atheists and rationalists. In this society, they are torn between the God and the devil. Atheists are charged like heresy, blasphemy and apostasy in many countries. They were the most attacked groups worldwide. In fact, atheists and rationalists and freethinkers do not have any motive to attack the believers. How stupid to blame rationalists for not following one of the many contradicting faiths which are always fighting with each other. Freedom of religion came only in 1966 by the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights.
The real problem comes when religions shadow the political powers. Things will go wrong. Very wrong. Europe was in the Dark Age for 1,000 years as long as they were buried under religious blind faiths, one faith after another. Lots of scientists, freethinkers lost their lives at the hands of religious fanatics. That should be a lesson for us. Even today, any country that took the religion as their state policy will drive their country in the reverse gear. You may not know, atheism and rationalism are the parents of secularism. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the first atheist Prime Minister of India and gave a secular name to India. But the constitution divided people into 4 sections based on their birth. That gave a chance to identify and discriminate people at administrative and political levels. We made a record by continuously assassinating atheists and rationalists in North India. It is also a record that none of the killers have been punished.
Within the religion comes the caste-based superiority, which was endorsed by none other than Mr. Gandhi. When the freedom fighters demanded political participation, Gandhi told them to go back and engage in their father's profession. Gandhiji even refused to accept giving citizenship to the lower caste. For your information, Indian politics is mostly upper caste dominated, right from independence. Education was prohibited to lower castes until the British started their schools.
South Indian freedom fighter, Periyar Ramasamy, took it as a prestige issue, and took it as a mission to restore the prestige of the socially suppressed. Periyar came back to Madras, told people of his state to quit their family professions on the spot and move away to cities or abroad, where there is no discrimination. People moved, participated in the nation-building process of those countries and were succeeded in Malaysia, Singapore, all the Middle East countries and Sri Lanka. Tamils became ministers and Prime Minister of Singapore. Tamil language became the official languages in those countries.
The Christian educational institutions played a major role in educating the rural population for the next generation, making the state more educated.
India remained poor as it was earlier due to the caste dominance in society and politics. Periyar started an atheist self-respect movement in the name of Dravidian movement. Periyar's followers won in elections and took over the government in Madras state since 1967. They even got the name of their state changed to Tamil Nadu, meaning Tamil country. No religious party could ever enter into that state until today. They managed the state and made it into a progressive and more educationally forward state than the rest of the country. You may not know, all children, humans with brain injuries, or patients with advanced dementia, all have no idea of gods or Satan.
Atheism is an absence of belief in the existence of deities. This concept is very common in Indian religious and spiritual belief systems, including Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, Syntheism, Raëlism, and Neopagan movements such as Wicca. There are even Christian and Islamic rationalists, include most of the scientists and philosophers of Middle Ages.
Certain concepts of the Buddha found in the Mahayana school of Buddhism reject the concept of God. Instead, they say, the Dharma is an attribution of the universe.
Āstika schools in Hinduism hold atheism to be a valid path to heaven. God without any human attributes is a positive theology. Negative theology denies the existence of deities is also not the enemy of positive theology. Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels argued that belief in God and religion are social functions used by those in power to oppress the working class. According to Mikhail Bakunin,
the idea of God implies the abduction of human reason and justice, human liberty, and ends in the enslavement of mankind, in theory and practice.
Let us see the atheism in Christianity.
Early Christians were considered to be atheists because they did not believe in the existence of the Greek-Roman deities. During the Roman Empire, Christians were executed for their rejection of the Roman gods and the imperial cult of ancient Rome in particular. That is the major reason for the crucifixion of Jesus Christ.
Christians and pagans, each one accused the other of atheism for not practicing the religion which they considered correct. When Christianity became the state religion of Rome, the role reversed. It became a punishable offense to worship other gods or to question the authority of the Church under Theodosius in 381.
The atrocities of rulers dominated by religious ideologies forced people to question the authority of gods and religions. Even satanic churches were built. Satanic Bible was published. Now, satanic churches called Church of Lucifer are getting demolished in some places.
Europe and East Asia are the regions with the highest rates of atheism. In 2015, 61% of people in China reported that they were atheists.
Rationalism in Islam.
For the first time in history, rationalism was implemented as state policy by Islamic rulers.
Islamic caliphs devised foolproof, rational, logical and truly practical systems. They are not only for religion but also for life, from birth to death. Those rational prescriptions are applicable to health, hygiene, food habits, worship, ethics and trade, economics, tax structure, family, relationships, justice, both for the citizens and for their rulers. For outsiders, Islamic atheism is basically rationalism, targets on superstitions, worshipping idols and born human beings, but it is much deeper.
Similar concept existed in Judaism and in the teachings of Jesus, but were not followed. In the Golden Age from 7th to 14th century, liberation of speech and thoughts lead to miracles in science and technology, along with advances in science and philosophy. Arab and Persian lands produced outspoken rationalists and atheists. Atheism and rationalism in Islam is a separate episode. You may be surprised how a fundamentalist religion can be rationalists. If you are thorough with your fundamental basics, you will also behave rational. This episode will drive both the believers and non-believers equally crazy.
Watch it, only if you have a broad mind to accept facts. Atheism in Islam gave nightmares to corrupt rulers and failed democracies.
The kingdoms showed what is secularism to democracies and republics. Watch and enjoy all our episodes.
They are information-packed, deeper under their titles. Please like and subscribe our YouTube channel. The science you may not know.